There's a part of our lives which is so fundamental that somehow we don't see it. But if we become aware of it, it can alter our lives completely. It can set you free to become what you really are. We're all born this fantastic human being, but something happens along the way. Slowly, it molds our reality. And that we take as reality, and we live by it. It just requires a small change of perception, and the whole of life can change. Because we've been molded from such a young age, we can't see what this thing is. If we could, we would do something about it. And that is what this is about. We have a perception of life which is a reflection of our inner space, of what goes on inside our heads, inside our minds. We've got a certain view of life, and we take it as reality. We see that view as rock solid in our outside world, but it's not so. Our outside world is shaped, our perception is shaped by how we see the world inside us. That is what's going on inside our minds. What's going on inside our minds, the space we're in. It might be a space of great wealth and privilege. It might be a space of wrong side of the tracks. Or anything in between, or bright, or dull, or whatever. But somehow, we've gained that picture inside ourselves of our lives. What we really are, what we were born as, our real self, is smothered, is lost underneath all the conditioning we've received right from birth. More and more and more conditioning. And that's what education is, it's conditioning. Society conditions us. Everything conditions us. And we lose sight entirely of what we really are inside, what our real inner space is. Our inner space is pure and infinitely capable, but it's been polluted. To actually see that mechanism working, if you can really see what reality is inside your head and how it's reflected on the outside, and know that you can change it by ridding yourself of the limitations that have been introduced into your mind. One has to experience it. One has to experience the change which comes from the changed perception, the changed space inside you, to really believe it. You can't just intellectually accept it. The way it works is to, bit by bit, change your perception and see what a difference it makes. It will reflect in your life. And it can be done. Lots of people have done it. It perhaps seems too simple, or we're so bound believing what's going on inside our head is the concrete reality, when it's not. It's just our thoughts. Thoughts covering who we really are. We can change our inner space, we can liberate it. And that is what this is about. Introducing you to the possibility of freeing your inner space. Our first step is to become clear about who we are. We're a conscious human being, first and foremost. Secondly, we have whatever we were born as, a race or a gender. The third is we are educated into seeing the world in a certain way. We're prisoned in a perception. And we're taught there's great danger in confronting that perception, in trying to disprove it. One is beaten into shape. And a bit of clarity, and the whole thing changes. We spend so much of our time seeking everybody else's approval. What for? What does that approval give? It makes us feel as though we'll be allowed to progress. We'll be allowed to do this and that. The permission doesn't lie in somebody else's hands. It lies in our hands. If we change our perception, we'll be living in a different world and be capable of doing different things. We're not as weak and dull as we've been led to believe. We're a conscious entity that has been restricted by what's been put in our minds. And that restriction needs to be dropped. If you've tried dropping it, really tried dropping it, and really tried to believe something else, to see what you are, then it's amazing how things change. Our financial situation is a good example. We believe we're capable of only so much, and we accept it, and we're grateful for that little. But why? Why do some have so much and some so little? The people who have more have made space inside themselves for more. The rest of us have made a very little space for wealth or comfort. And we live within that little space. Whenever we think of expanding, there's a voice which tells you, no, you're not good enough. It's just a thought which holds us in that place. If you let go of it and live without that thought, life changes. It does require some practice to let go of it, and it can be quite frightening. But wow, when you do it, you think, why didn't I do it before? My whole life could have been different. The fact is, you don't have to stay the way you are. That's not you. That's what you've been led to believe you are. It's not you. It's possible to drop it and enter or have a space inside you which is confident, which loves itself, which has room for abundance. And when you gain that space, when you see it, it's regaining it. You're not having to make it, it's regaining it. Shedding all the negative propaganda which has been put in your head to make you a good, productive member of society, or a slave, in other words. You can drop it. You can drop the shackles. You can have an inner space which allows those things. And that is the thing to understand. That is the thing to see. Is your inner space allows or disallows. If you open up space for abundance, you'll have a totally different experience to being poverty-struck or limited as your inner space, as what you believe, as what's the reality inside you. It's not changing into something better, it's reclaiming what you are, what you naturally are, what you were born as. You're not what you've been told you are. You are what you are. Your inner space has been polluted, and you can have a fresh wind come through and blow all that stuff away and have a clear sky, expansive, You can have a space of capability. And in a space of capability is when you see you're capable instead of not capable. And your inner world, your inner space, is reflected in your outer experience. And think of what's going on inside your head and compare it with what's going on outside in your world. It's a fact, your inner space reflects the outside. It's just you accept the inner as reality, unchangeable, concrete. It's not. I've experienced such change by changing what goes on inside me. You're free inside your head if you drop everybody else's thoughts. If you see for yourself. If you stop, become still and aware. You can see all those limitations aren't real. They've just been imposed on you, and you live by them. Shift from doubt to confidence by changing how you see the world. And you'll see the world differently if you clear out that space inside you. It's like cleaning out the clutter in your house. There's now space for something else. Clean out all those limiting thoughts. There's now space for an abundant reality, for a loved reality, for a reality that you're seeking. You don't have to become that thing. You have to accept that's what you are. And then you start to experience it. It is difficult. It's frightening at times, because you seem to be going against the foundation you seem to be living from. When you have freedom inside, you'll have freedom outside. You can't adjust the outside. You have freedom there first before you have the freedom inside. It's back to front, and it doesn't work that way. Freedom comes from a free inner space. Become aware of that, and it will, bit by bit, start to change. You will become somebody that you love, that you can live with, and have a happy life, a joyous life. The joy comes from within.